Dr. Mercer smiled with Noah's face in the elevator. Behind him, a red 15 button began pulsing. Mira whispered that this floor never showed memories. It showed tomorrow, then demanded someone make it happen. Before Noah answered, the hospital alarms stopped together. Every clock nearby jumped forward exactly 15 minutes. The duplicate stepped aside and invited them inside. He promised one future could save everyone. Noah noticed burn marks across the Fran's hand. Then the elevator doors closed behind all three. The car descended, although 15 should be higher. Mira warned Noah never to believe the first vision. The duplicate said disbelief was simply another programmed response. At 0, the doors opened onto brilliant daylight. A perfect corridor stretched beneath a blue sky. Each doorway displayed a date from tomorrow. Behind glass, strangers repeated ordinary morning routines. Everything looked harmless until everyone turned toward Noah. Door 1501 showed the hospital burning before sunrise. Nurses carried patients while smoke swallowed the eastern wing. On screen, Noah stood outside, refusing to unlock doors. He shouted that the footage was impossible and cruel. The scene changed immediately after hearing his denial. Now Mira held the keys beside the locked entrance. She watched herself abandon everyone without blinking. Mr. Vale appeared behind them with a cracked stopwatch. He said the floor revised futures whenever fear changed. Then every glass apartment began showing different disasters. One room showed Emma alive inside a crowded station. Another showed her boarding a train without remembering Noah. Another showed Noah stopping her, causing hundreds to die. Each rescue created worse consequences elsewhere. Mira covered the windows, but whispers escaped through walls. They repeated private thoughts neither had spoken aloud. The duplicate calmly recorded every reaction in a notebook. Noah grabbed him and demanded his real identity. The man answered, "I am what you choose next." Then his face aged 15 years in seconds. At corridor center, a steel door marked 1515 open. Inside waited a circular chamber filled with moving screens. 15 futures surrounded one empty chair beneath white light. Each future ended with Blackridge Tower collapsing at dawn. In 14 versions, Mira caused the final structural failure. In the 15th, Noah pushed her into the elevator. That future saved the city but erased Emma forever. Mira accused the room of manufacturing false choices deliberately. The duplicate asked Noah which loss he could survive. A countdown appeared, granting them 15 minutes to decide. Noah searched beneath the console and found hidden recordings. Old visitors rehearsed the same disaster shown around them. They panicked, escaped, then caused each prediction themselves. The floor was not forecasting tomorrow at all. It was teaching frightened people how to create it. Every screen tracked pulse, attention, doubt, and attachment. Whichever vision received most fear gained physical detail. Noah realized watching was turning possibilities into instructions. The duplicate applauded and called this the midpoint test. He claimed Dr. Mercer designed the engine decades earlier. Mira demanded proof, so he sealed archive. Inside were photographs of Noah building the first chamber. Beside him stood Mira wearing a research uniform. Her badge identified her as Dr. Mara Vale. Mira staggered, insisting that name belonged to nobody. Mr. Vale quietly removed his cap and faced her. He called her daughter, missing since the original fire. The corridor lights shifted from blue to emergency red. Mira remembered testing the machine with teenage Emma present. Noah remembered ordering the experiment, despite unstable reading. The first prediction showed Emma dying inside apartment 1313. Trying to prevent it, they started the actual fire. Every floor afterward became a containment layer for guilt. Mira was not a ghost but a fragmented survivor. Her memories had been distributed across 14 artificial floors. Reaching 15 began the person she once was. But restored Mara immediately tried activating the engine again. She believed one perfect future could undo every death. Noah feared the machine had already influenced that belief. The duplicate revealed himself as Noah from tomorrow morning. He had returned through a future the engine created. In his timeline, Mara activated 15 and destroyed downtown. He came back to force Noah toward the sacrifice. Mara said future Noah was merely another persuasive simulation. Both demanded trust while the countdown reached 5 minutes. The screens began projecting doors into the real corridor. Burning nurses, lost children, and silent residents stepped through. They were rehearsals given bodies by concentrated attention. Vale shouted for everyone to stop looking directly. Noah smashed lights, plunging the chamber into darkness. Without observers, several futures dissolved into silver dust. Yet one screen kept glowing behind Mara's hand. It showed Emma waiting safely on the 16th floor. Mara whispered that she finally knew where Emma remained. Noah begged her not to open another path. Future Noah raised a weapon made from elevator metal. He aimed at Mara, repeating the city's survival statistic. Noah stepped between them before either could act. He chose neither prediction and destroyed the central console. The chamber folded like paper around a collapsing flame. 15 doors raced past them through impossible darkness. Vale held the elevator while future Noah began fading. He warned Noah that unchosen futures never truly disappear. Mara entered last, hiding something beneath her burned sleeve. The elevator launched upward as the floor shattered below. Noah awakened again inside the silent hospital corridor. Only 3 seconds had passed on every nearby clock. Vale was gone, leaving his cracked stopwatch behind. Mira remembered her real name but rejected Mara's mission. She promised Noah the machine would remain permanently sealed. Together they watched sunrise beyond the hospital windows. Then Noah's phone received a message dated tomorrow. His own voice whispered, "You destroyed the wrong machine." Security footage showed Mira leaving while Noah still slept. She carried the glowing core beneath her sleeve. At Blackridge Tower, sealed elevators activated without electricity. Floor numbers climbed past 15 for the first time. Mira stood alone as the display revealed 16. Behind its doors, Emma called her Dr. Vale. A second voice asked whether Noah remembered the experiment. Mira smiled, but her reflection remained completely expressionless. Then floor 16 opened onto a room full of Noahs. Everyone in Blackridge Tower deeply feared one impossible hour. At exactly 3:13 a.m., the building suddenly changed. A silent 13th floor impossibly appeared above the 12th. Most residents slept through it and remembered absolutely nothing. Noah Mercer first heard the rumor during night deliveries. Blackridge Tower was his final downtown stop before dawn. Rain covered the deserted street like cold black glass. 12 dark floors rose above him beneath broken clouds. He laughed when the concierge mentioned a missing level. Then the elevator display flashed 13 for 1 second. The number vanished before Noah could possibly photograph it. On floor 11, a frightened woman seized his sleeve. Her name was Mira Hall from nearby apartment 1108. She urgently asked whether he heard footsteps above them. A slow dragging sound crossed the badly stained ceiling. Yet floor 12 was supposed to be the roof. Mira heard footsteps returning nightly at exactly 3:13. Sometimes they stopped directly outside her tightly locked door. Noah blamed old pipes, settling concrete, and exhausted imagination. Mira answered that a young child had disappeared upstairs. Every official police report about the child later vanished. Noah finished his delivery and hurried nervously back downstairs. In the lobby, an elderly janitor watched him silently. His faded name tag identified him as Mr. Vale. Vale calmly asked whether the elevator had shown 13. Noah immediately demanded to know how he knew that. Vale placed an old brass key in his palm. Noah reminded him the tower had only 12 floors. Vale whispered that buildings sometimes lie about themselves. Then he limped away without taking back the key. Noah should have thrown it straight into the gutter. Instead, he returned the next stormy night before 3:13. Myra waited beside the elevator, holding a trembling flashlight. The lobby clock reached 3:12, then abruptly stopped ticking. Every hallway light dimmed as if power was drowning. At 3:13, the elevator arrived completely empty and silent. A blank button now glowed strangely beneath floor 12. Noah pressed it before his courage could abandon him. Mira entered beside him and tightly gripped the railing. The elevator moved like sinking through deep black water. When it opened, another impossible corridor waited beyond it. Same wallpaper, same doors, same sickly flickering ceiling lamps. Only the apartment numbers now mysteriously began with 13. Every door stood slightly open except one doorway. Apartment 1313 waited beneath a dead yellow bulb. Noah felt suddenly certain he had stood there before. The corridor smelled of old smoke and damp dust. Every discovered clock remained permanently frozen at exactly 3:13. Family photographs showed smiling faces scratched into gray scars. In one frame, Noah's face remained completely untouched. Myra stepped farther away and asked what he remembered. Noah said nothing, because something had begun returning. The brass key opened apartment 1313 without resistance. Inside, a small living room appeared carefully preserved. A yellow child's raincoat hung beside the entrance. Noah recognized it before he recognized his fear. It had belonged to Emma, his younger sister. Emma vanished 13 years earlier inside Blackridge Tower. On the table waited a cassette and camcorder. A handwritten label instructed them to watch before dawn. Mira pressed play while Noah held the flashlight. The screen showed Blackridge Tower 13 years earlier. A younger Noah entered the elevator, smiling proudly. Little Emma followed him, carrying a red balloon. He promised to reveal a secret magical floor. The recording showed him pressing the blank elevator button. Young Noah led Emma toward apartment 1313. He unlocked the door using the same brass key. Then static swallowed the picture and Emma screamed. A soft knock suddenly came from the bedroom. Noah and Mira approached while the camcorder kept playing. The bedroom door opened slowly without anyone touching it. Emma stood inside wearing the same yellow raincoat. She looked 13, unchanged by 13 missing years. Her first question was why Noah abandoned her. He backed away as forgotten smoke filled his lungs. Emma said the floor preserved everything people buried. Mira opened a closet filled with resident files. Every vanished tenant had a folder bearing Noah's signature. He denied writing them but recognized his handwriting. Emma pointed toward a cracked mirror behind him. His reflection wore hospital clothes and a wristband. The apartment flickered like scenery made from paper. Mira whispered that she had never lived in 1108. She said Noah had met her many times. Each time he forgot before reaching the truth. The tower was not creating a supernatural floor. His damaged mind was rebuilding one terrible night. Blackridge Tower had burned and closed years earlier. The first flames began inside apartment 1313. Noah remembered dropping a candle during their exploration. The door jammed while smoke trapped Emma inside. He ran to find help but never returned. The 13th floor became a prison made from denial. Alarms screamed as old smoke flooded the corridor. Emma offered Noah a choice before the floor collapsed. He could stay with her and forget everything, or leave, awaken, and carry the truth forever. Noah seized Mira's hand and ran toward the elevator. The corridor stretched longer with every desperate step. Open doors revealed missing tenants watching them silently. Vale waited beside the elevator like a patient gatekeeper. He warned that only one passenger could leave. Mira pushed Noah inside before he could resist. She told him to wake up and remember her. Noah shouted that he would not abandon someone again. Mira smiled sadly and asked whether she was real. The elevator doors slammed between them as fire returned. Noah woke screaming beneath harsh hospital morning light. A nurse said he had suffered another nightly relapse. She claimed Blackridge Tower existed only in his records. No hospital employee had ever heard of Mira Hall. Then a janitor passed carrying Vale's familiar key. The brass key marked 13 hung from his cart. That night, Noah watched the clock reach 3:12. Dragging footsteps crossed the hospital ceiling above him. At 3:13, the distant elevator opened by itself. Mira stood inside with burned sleeves and dark eyes. She said he had remembered only half the fire. Then another button appeared marked with floor 14.
Across the world, hundreds of places have mysteriously vanished, leaving behind no answers, only questions that remain unsolved to this day. Hidden all around us are mysteries still waiting to be discovered. Secrets no one has ever fully explained. One of them is known as File Number 47. According to the records, this place was once home to more than 10,000 people, a thriving community filled with daily life and activity. This was once a thriving city, alive with energy from dawn to dusk. Its streets were filled with people going about their daily lives. Markets buzzed with activity, and the laughter of children echoed through every neighborhood. It seemed like a place full of hope, life, and a promising future. But then, in a single night, everything changed. It happened so suddenly that no one saw it coming. Before anyone could understand what was happening, an entire way of life had vanished, leaving behind only silence and unanswered questions. The next morning, there was no one left. Not a single sign of life remained. The streets stood silent. The homes were abandoned, and it was as if the entire city had simply vanished overnight. There were no signs of war, no evidence of violence, no indication that anyone had tried to flee. It was as if every person had simply disappeared. Without a trace, everything was left exactly as it had been. Nothing appeared disturbed. There were no signs of recent activity, no movement, no voices, as if time itself had suddenly stopped, freezing the entire city in a single moment. Then something strange began to unfold. According to the final pages of the records, an unknown presence had appeared without warning. The very last entry contained only a single sentence, as if whoever wrote it never had the chance to finish. "They're coming." Those were the final words ever recorded. No names were mentioned. No explanation was given. To this day, no one knows who they were, or what was truly coming that night. To this day, no one knows who or what they were. No evidence was ever found. No explanation was ever confirmed. Their identity remains one of history's most chilling and enduring mysteries. Some believe it was a natural disaster, a sudden catastrophe that struck without warning, forcing everyone to disappear in a matter of hours. Others believe it was something far beyond human understanding, an unexplained phenomenon, something humanity has never discovered, never identified, and still cannot explain to this day. Case file number 47. Even today, it remains unsolved, a mystery that continues to defy every explanation. Its secrets may never be revealed. Fade to black. The man from a country that doesn't exist. The mystery of Taured. In 1954, a mysterious passport allegedly surfaced at Tokyo's Haneda Airport, issued by a nation that, according to every map, did not exist. The story begins as an international flight descends through a wall of thick fog, landing silently at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. unaware that one passenger is about to reveal an impossible secret. Among the passengers was a solitary man carrying a worn leather briefcase and documents issued by a nation so unfamiliar, its very name stunned the immigration officers. Across the passport cover was the name of a nation that had never appeared on any official list in the world. The country was called Taured, a name unknown to the world, and the beginning of a mystery no one has ever been able to explain. Map after map was examined, but nowhere on Earth could the name Taured be found, as though the country had never existed at all. The location he described matched the land now known as Andorra, yet the man insisted it was, and had always been, the nation of Taured. The man firmly insisted that Taured had existed for more than 1,000 years, speaking as though he had somehow crossed over into our world from a mysterious parallel reality. Even more disturbing, the passport contained multiple official stamps, evidence that it had somehow been accepted at other borders before. Inside the briefcase were foreign currencies, airline tickets, and documents from several different countries, each one deepening the impossible mystery. Airport security was alerted immediately when officials failed to verify a single one of his documents. For hours, officials searched for answers, but the origin of the mysterious passport remained completely unexplained. A mystery remained, one impossible question still waiting to be answered. Could this passport have come from another version of our world, one existing beyond the boundaries of our reality? The story continues at a hotel near the airport, where the mysterious traveler is placed under guard, until something impossible happens before sunrise. His passport and luggage remained inside the locked room all night, yet by morning the man had vanished without a trace. Where could he have gone? The door was still locked, the window had no balcony, and the room contained no second exit, making his disappearance seem utterly impossible. No sound was heard, and not a single door opened throughout the night, as if the man had simply vanished from reality itself. The man, his mysterious passport, and every piece of luggage were gone. But how could everything vanish from a sealed room without leaving a single trace? Over the years, the story became one of the world's most famous alleged cases of parallel realities, yet its truth remains hidden in mystery. Some believe the passport crossed through a hidden point where two realities briefly collided, allowing something from another world to enter ours. A single change in the distant past could split history into two entirely different realities, each believing it is the only one. But when investigators examined the historical records, the mystery began to take on a very different and far more unsettling shape. An old report called the country Taured, with its capital in Tamanrasset, not Taured near Andorra, revealing that the legend may have been distorted over time. With each retelling, the country's name, its location, the date, and even the ending of the case were gradually rewritten, until fact and legend became impossible to separate. Perhaps the man never came from a parallel world, yet the non-existent nation he claimed as his homeland became a legend that has endured for decades. Across the world, hundreds of places have mysteriously vanished, leaving behind no answers, only questions that remain unsolved to this day. Hidden all around us are mysteries still waiting to be discovered, secrets no one has ever fully explained. One of them is known as File Number 47. According to the records, this place was once home to more than 10,000 people, a thriving community filled with daily life and activity. This was once a thriving city, alive with energy from dawn to dusk. Its streets were filled with people going about their daily lives. Markets buzzed with activity, and the laughter of children echoed through every neighborhood. It seemed like a place full of hope, life, and a promising future. But then, in a single night, everything changed. It happened so suddenly that no one saw it coming. Before anyone could understand what was happening, an entire way of life had vanished, leaving behind only silence and unanswered questions. The next morning, there was no one left. Not a single sign of life remained. The streets stood silent. The homes were abandoned, and it was as if the entire city had simply vanished overnight. There were no signs of war, no evidence of violence, no indication that anyone had tried to flee. It was as if every person had simply disappeared. Without a trace, everything was left exactly as it had been. Nothing appeared disturbed. There were no signs of recent activity, no movement, no voices, as if time itself had suddenly stopped, freezing the entire city in a single moment. Then something strange began to unfold. According to the final pages of the records, an unknown presence had appeared without warning. The very last entry contained only a single sentence, as if whoever wrote it never had the chance to finish. "They're coming." Those were the final words ever recorded. No names were mentioned. No explanation was given. To this day, no one knows who they were, or what was truly coming that night. To this day, no one knows who or what they were. No evidence was ever found. No explanation was ever confirmed. Their identity remains one of history's most chilling and enduring mysteries. Some believe it was a natural disaster, a sudden catastrophe that struck without warning, forcing everyone to disappear in a matter of hours. Others believe it was something far beyond human understanding, an unexplained phenomenon, something humanity has never discovered, never identified, and still cannot explain to this day. Case file number 47. Even today, it remains unsolved, a mystery that continues to defy every explanation. Its secrets may never be revealed. Fade to black.
If a lighthouse flashed your name, would you answer it? In 1996, 3 fishermen did. None returned home. The strangest part? Their boat came back completely dry. Inside lay a photograph taken exactly years later. This is case file 92, the Tomorrow Lighthouse. Black Glass Point sits beyond the last road on the map. Then keeper Elias Vale vanished during a cloudless midnight shift. The door was locked from inside. Every window was sealed. Only wet footprints remained, circling the lamp 3 times. The final footprint ended in the center of solid glass. But locals noticed something the official report carefully omitted. The lamp kept flashing, although its power cable was cut. At first, the flashes looked random. Short, long, short. A schoolteacher named Nora Finch translated them as Morse code. The message contained 1 word, Morrow. Then came 6 numbers, the following day's date and time. At that exact minute, Nora's kitchen ceiling collapsed. She survived only because she had gone outside to watch. For 2 weeks, the beam predicted fires, falls, and storms. Then the messages changed from names to precise instructions. Turn left, leave now. Do not board the 9:15 ferry. Those who obeyed lived. Those who ignored it were injured. Soon the town stopped making decisions without consulting the beam. Birthdays, marriages, business deals. The light chose everything. That was when the first impossible photograph appeared. It showed the town square flooded beneath a blood-red moon. On the back, July 23, 2026. Do not ring the bell. The photograph was found in a wall sealed since 1904. Most residents wanted the lighthouse destroyed before that date, but Mayor Silas Reed refused. The warnings had saved dozens. He hired engineer Mara Quinn to prove the signal was mechanical. Mara trusted wires, gears, and facts, not ghost stories. Her first test found no electricity anywhere in the structure. Her second found the glass lens was colder than seawater. Her third revealed a heartbeat beneath the stone floor. It beat every 4 seconds, the exact rhythm of the flashes. Mara lifted a rusted plate and discovered stairs descending underground. She descended 37 steps before hearing her own voice. It whispered, "Whatever you see, do not answer me." At the bottom waited a room filled with hundreds of clocks. Each clock carried a resident's name instead of numbers. Most moved forward, some ran backward. 3 were completely still. Mara found a 4th clock hidden behind a curtain. It bore her name, and its hands were moving backward. Beside it stood a tape recorder made decades before her birth. When she pressed play, her own voice filled the cave. "The lighthouse does not predict disasters," the recording said. "It rehearses them until someone obeys." Mara stopped the tape, but the reels continued turning. Then the beam above began flashing a new name, Silas Reed. The message ordered him to ring the harbor bell at midnight. Silas called it another warning and prepared to obey. Mara begged him to wait. The photograph said the opposite. One side trusted the photograph. The other trusted years of rescues. At 11:56, every named clock stopped at once. At 11:57, the ocean pulled away from the harbor. Fish, anchors, and an entire stone staircase appeared below. At 11:58, people heard knocking beneath the town square. At 11:59, the lighthouse beam turned toward the ground. It illuminated a perfect circle no map had ever shown. Mara realized the lighthouse was not guiding ships at all. It was marking a door, and the bell was its key. She raced uphill while Silas wrapped both hands around the rope. The first midnight chime cracked every window in Blackglass Point. The second made the stopped clocks begin counting backward. Before the third, Mara cut the rope with an axe. Silence fell. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then something enormous knocked back from beneath the square. Once, twice, exactly 4 seconds apart. The ground opened, revealing a staircase descending into green light, and climbing upward was Keeper Elias Vale, unchanged since 1987. He was dry, calm, and carrying tomorrow's newspaper. Its headline read, "Blackglass Point disappears without trace." Below it was a photograph of Mara ringing the bell alone. Mara stared at Elias and asked where he had been. He answered, "Waiting for you to send the first warning." Then every clock in the cave began striking midnight. The lighthouse projected scenes across the clouds like a film. They saw Nora leave her kitchen before the ceiling fell. They saw the ferry change course after passengers refused to board. That new course caused the storm collision everyone remembered. Every rescue had quietly moved danger towards someone else. The lighthouse had never prevented a tragedy, only reassigned it, and each act of obedience made the underground door stronger. Silas had saved the town by condemning people beyond it. The final bell would seal Blackglass Point outside normal time. Its residents would survive forever, while the world forgot them. That was why the future headline called it a disappearance. Elias revealed the cruelest detail. The process had already happened. They were not approaching midnight. They were repeating it. Every loop began when Mara discovered the hidden stairs. Every loop ended when she cut the bell rope, and every loop sent one photograph farther into the past. The warning in the sealed wall came from a previous Mara. So did the voice on the tape. So did Elias. Mara had only one choice no previous loop had attempted. Not obey the light, not stop the bell, destroy the clocks. She ran underground as the third knock shook the tower. One by one she smashed every clock carrying a living name. With each shattered face, someone above forgot the lighthouse. Nora forgot the warning. Silas forgot the bell. Elias began aging. Finally, only Mara's backward clock remained. Its hands now showed 4 seconds before midnight. The recording whispered, "Break it, and no one remembers you." 3 seconds. Mara raised the hammer. 2 seconds. The lighthouse flashed her name across the ocean. 1 second. A future version of Mara appeared inside the glass. She said one word without sound. "Wait." Mara smiled, then brought the hammer down. At sunrise, Black Glass Point was still on every map. The sea had returned. The underground door was gone. No resident remembered Mara or why the bell rope was cut. But inside the lighthouse, one object remained untouched. A new photograph showed Mara standing in an unfamiliar city. Behind her, thousands of lighthouses flashed at once. On the back were 4 words. This was only one. Tonight, watch the brightest light near your home. If it flashes your name, do not follow its instructions, because the next disaster may not be a warning. It may be the price someone else paid to survive.
At 3:13, the hospital elevator opened by itself without warning. Burned sleeves releasing thin smoke and silence. She asked Noah whether he wanted forbidden floor 14. Behind her reflected an empty cabin without movement. Noah realized Mira cast no reflection there at all. Still, he entered before the doors could close behind him. The hospital corridor vanished behind sliding metal panels completely. Only Mira, Noah, and humming ceiling lights remained together. The display skipped 13 and showed a blank symbol instead. A red light pulsed ominously where 14 should have appeared. A child suddenly whispered Noah's name through the speaker. He asked whether Emma waited alone on the next floor. Mira quietly said Emma had never been the real danger. The elevator descended while its numbers climbed steadily upward. Cold air carried the smell of rain deep inside. The doors opened onto a silent, abandoned hospital ward. Family photographs hung beside valves and flickering emergency lamp. Every picture showed Noah living another complete unfamiliar life. One showed him married to an unknown smiling woman. Mira warned him never to touch the photographs there. Noah touched one before she finished speaking the warning. A memory suddenly struck him like another violent heartbeat. He clearly remembered Clara calling him by the Nalia. He remembered promising to return before their sleeping daughter woke. Then everything vanished, leaving grief without any rightful owner. Noah demanded to know whose life he had entered. Mira said 14 stored stolen memories from desperate survivors. 13 preserved guilt, while 14 preserved foreign identities. Someone had filled Noah with lives that were never his. They slowly passed doors numbered 1401 through 1408. Behind each door, another Noah repeated ordinary morning routines. One wrote medical notes beneath a bright medical lamp. Every version slowly looked up as the real Noah passed. Together they whispered he had already returned too early. Noah ran, but the corridor folded backward around him. Mr. Vale waited silently beside a nurse's station nearby. Noah personally accused him of building the impossible floor. Vale said Noah designed them before deliberately forgetting everything. Mira dragged Noah away before another locked door opened. They entered a supply room filled with damaged cassettes. Each tape carried a date from the Black Ridge fire. A woman's recording calmly experimental memory treatment procedure. Desperate patients surrendered unbearable memories to one volunteer mind. The volunteer carried them temporarily, then eventually forgot them. On the tape, he introduced himself as Dr. Noah Mercer. His recorded voice sounded older and terrifyingly familiar somehow. Grainy footage showed Noah wearing a white doctor's coat. Mira stood beside him, alive and completely unburned there. She called him Dr. Mercer and handed over sealed file. Emma appeared next, but not as a young child. She was an adult nurse wearing bright yellow rainwear. Noah's childhood memories immediately began violently rearranging themselves. His missing sister emerged from many overlapping patient stories. Her face belonged to 14 different Black Ridge children. Her yellow coat came from an old fire photograph. Noah had never actually grown up beside Emma. Mira admitted helping create the secret memory transfer experiment. She believed shared trauma could emotionally protect collapsing survivors. But Noah absorbed memories faster than safe removal. 14 patients gradually disappeared inside his crowded mind. Each impossible floor imprisoned one separate borrowed identity. Floor 13 held young children lost during the fire. Floor 14 held adults who survived and remembered everything. Noah asked exactly which memory had created.
She refused and slowly opened the final cabinet. Inside, rustic wristband marked patient 14. Its photograph Mira sharing Vale's unmistakable cold eye. Vale entered and called her Mara Mata. Mara Vale was his daughter and the first volunteer. She died suddenly during the transfer 13 years earlier. The mirror present Mara's surviving digital copy. She had secretly guided Noah there to escape story. Noah realized her careful kindness concealed an escape plan. Mira said copies still felt fear and love. She begged him not to call her mere machinery. Alarms sounded as copied Noahs left their room. Identical figures crowded the corridor behind. Each demanded control of the hospitalized body. Vale locked the entire hallway using one key. He said only the original identity could leave. Nobody remembered which identity entered the experiment first. Mira claimed Noah Mercer was merely a mask. The man beneath had another hidden name and purpose. She led Noah toward room 1414 at the end. It opened into a chamber of mirrored bed. 14 sleeping patients appeared inside every reflection. Wore Noah's exact face. Tubes linked its head to an elevator-shaped machine. Mira said the body never awakened afterward. Everything happened inside its collapsing artificial memory network. Even the hospital outside might be constructed. Noah touched the sleeping body's cold hand. Every borrowed memory awakened inside him together. He saw 14 lives losses end. One memory belonged secretly to Miss. Vale started Blackridge Fire Hide illegal experiments. He trapped survivors and used Noah's floor-protected witnesses buried inside Noah. Vale lunged as Mira pulled the emergency lever. The chamber shook and reflections began disappearing. Noah could save himself or release everyone. Saving himself erased Mira and the witnesses. Releasing them could destroy their only usable body. Noah chose them and forced the lever downward. Every floor 14 door burst open with light. Copied residents dissolved into streams of memory. They rushed through Noah into the sleeping body. Vale screamed as his confession filled the chamber. Darkness swallowed everything before Noah ever saw the results. He awoke alone inside a normal elevator. The doors opened on a sunlit hospital lobby. No staff recognized Noah or Blackridge Tower. Outside, no building matched his remembered skyline. His pocket held 14 keys and one photograph. It showed Noah, Mira, Emma, and Vale. Behind them stood an elevator button marked 15. In the picture, Emma's eyes turned toward Noah. A voice whispered that the original remained asleep. The lobby elevator opened onto ascending concrete stairs below. Below, someone with Noah's face called him Dr. Mercer.